Thank you for tuning in. This is Difficult People Chronicles. I'm Seriously Focused Johnnie, SF Johnnie. Today's episode is called Your Money Matters, All About Us. The reason why I called it All About Us is because I want everybody to understand that in relationships, there's two parties, not one. I've seen people in relationships where they're married and they would say to their significant other, I. This created bitter tension. With operating in relationships and dealing with money, there are a lot of things that can make or break a relationship. So I'm going to discuss a few. Number one, when it comes to money and situations, there are going to be times where decisions will have to be made and you might get upset about it. Either party, both parties might get upset about it. It's imperative that two things. Number one, you don't go to bed angry about it. Number two, you don't make a rush decision to accept whatever offers on the table. And number three, you don't talk about whatever is going on in front of people you don't trust, because they can make your situation worse. So, number two, don't allow people to force you all, meaning couples, into situations with your money if they come at you constantly trying to force you into a deal. Like I always say, you always have options. So you go out and you research what other options are available. Because if a person is standing in front of you trying to force you into a deal, both parties, and you don't feel comfortable about it, and they keep coming, something's wrong. There's like a bazillion people out there in the world. Research your options and see what else is out there. Number three, now this is for one. Now, say for instance, you're in a relationship. If you got with a user, smoocher, and you knew who that person was before you met them, and you thought you can change them, and you realize that you can't, and you don't have no strings attached to them, like you don't have no kids, y'all don't live together, whatever the situation is, it's never too late to leave. Or it's never too late to run. And if you decide to leave the relationship, and I'm talking about boyfriend and girlfriend, you need to heal. But I'm telling you this, whatever the situation is, do it the right way. If you're going to break up with the person, you owe it to yourself, because you wouldn't want it done to you, to tell a person why and this relationship is not working. And spend time on yourself healing. Yes. Number four, the 50-50. Let's talk about that. So this is my perception on the whole 50-50. I met a guy years ago I was dating a guy years ago who his mother told him that in relationships everything is supposed to be 50-50. And her perception of 50-50 was that if there was a bill that cost $100, he pays $50 and his girlfriend pays $50. And at the time, he was in a relationship and the relationship didn't work. So then I came along, so him and I was talking for a while. And after a while, I was just like, this relationship is not there was a reason why she left. That reason was clear. I understood that at the time, he didn't make as much as me. I got it. But the whole 50-50, when it came to, he said if the cable bill comes in and it's $24, I pay $12 and you pay $12. I was like, that's stupid. That's stupid. So in relationships, there might be a factor where a woman will make more than a guy. And if that be the case, pick a bill and pay it. Let's just say y'all boyfriend and girlfriend and y'all live together, and at the time, let's say homeboy is in school or he's doing whatever the situation is. Pick a bill. Cable. Pay the whole bill. Let's not chop that in half. Let's not do a situation where if it's let's just say it's $30 and one person pays 15 and the other one pays 15. Pay the whole bill. Let's not make a headache. And that's the way I felt. That's why our relationship didn't work. And that's one of the reasons I feel like his mother really didn't like me. But I was like, whatever. Don't really matter. I was so over it. Number 5. I have a rule of thumb. My rule of thumb is, like I said, when it comes to making decisions as a couple, always search for options. And when you search for options, at least have 3 or 4 on the table. Never let people force you into something. You can take time to think about it. Because sometimes when people force you into something, they force you into something or they rush you into something, it's never good luck. You have 3 or 4 options. Now, if it's something like, let's say, interest rates, hey, that's different. But I'm going to give you an example. I went to I went to go take care of some business, and when I got to one party, the interest rate was like ridiculous. And the man said, well, that's what everybody's offering right now. And I'm sitting there like, you telling a business person that lie. You really think I'm going to sit here and believe you with that one? That's what I said in my head. I told him I'd get back to him. I never got back to him because that was their interest rate, that company at that particular time. And I found it lower somewhere else. You always got options. So before you even meet with certain people when you're going to do business, it's imperative you sit down with your spouse, your significant other, and say we're just going to listen and see what options we have and do some research. But y'all both have to be on the same page. Number 6 would be to set aside emergency funds. We all know what that is. Just set aside emergency funds or funds just in case something to go up. Anything, cable, Netflix. Set aside some funds. Number 7 is establish boundaries. Okay, so when 2 people come together, one of the things that I was always told by my grandmother is a man can't say anything to you by how he meets you. And what she meant was that if I'm working and in school, he cannot come to me and try to change me because of what he wants. Meaning that if I'm a working woman, let's just say, and he walks into my life and he feels like I'm the full package. However, he doesn't want me to work. He can't say anything to me. He can't, because I was doing this before he met me. So the other part of that is that when you have a certain set of goals that you're doing or whatever you're doing in life, and a person comes along and wants to be a part of your life, and you have money set aside for whatever you're going to do, don't decide that because this person is walking in your life and they're saying, oh, the money you set aside, let's say for school, I'll pay for it. Don't go spend the money that you already have for school. The reason why I say that is because should the relationship not last, you can't get mad at the person because they left and they decide that they're not going to pay for it anymore because they're not with you. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Let me repeat what I said in a different way. 2 people are together. One is in school. A person comes along and meets them and says, look, I know the bill for school is hard on you and all this other stuff. Even though that person does not know that you have money set aside for the school, that doesn't give you the right to go spend the money for school. You wait until you finish school to decide what you're going to do with them. Make sure that person delivers on their word. I've seen it before. There was a woman, we're not going to say her name, but she was in school, met a guy. He used to always buy her all sorts of fancy stuff. She was so happy, cloud 9, 10, and 15. And then she decided to be very, I would say, difficult because she was like, she was still entertaining her ex, I would say that. And it was in a way where she wanted to let him know she didn't want to be with him, but she was still around him. So the current boyfriend that she was with, he got whim of it and he stopped giving her all the gifts and everything else. He was also paying for some of her school fees and things like that. And once they broke up, she just didn't have it. And the money that she had to use for it, she was busy hanging out and doing all this other stuff. So then her school had to take a backseat with a lot of other things, and she blamed it on him. And I said, you can't blame it on him. The money you had for school and all this other stuff, or whatever you was going to do, whether it be buy a car, buy a house, or whatever, you should have never touched it. You went to entertain your ex, and he did exactly what he was going to do. He walked up in your life. You boasted about your relationship, but you was still hanging around with him, your ex. Your relationship with the current person didn't work, and now the ex is going off to a new person. You're upset. You should have never spent the money. And now you're not in school. So there's so many ands that just don't look right. And I was like, that you should have never did that. Because to be honest, with the way the world is going, sometimes certain relationships is not guaranteed. And I told her, my words for her was that she should have never entertained her ex. I don't care if he came back with $100,000. She should have never entertained him. She should have never been hanging out with him. Even though she said she hung out with him and told him she's in love with her current boyfriend. It just don't look good. So now she got mad with the boyfriend she was with because he left. I said that was your fault. You're bitter, you're angry, you're claiming your goals is messed up, you don't have the money, but that was your fault. So whatever boundaries you have, make sure they're healthy boundaries. Whatever money you have for whatever you're gonna do, you set that aside and use it just for that and nothing else. And if somebody wanna help you out along the line, cool, but don't touch that money until you finish doing what you're doing. So that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I will have a downloadable document coming up with some money tips, and it's going to be called Your Money Matters in the near future. I will keep y'all posted, and I want y'all to have a blessed week. Check me out on Facebook. Check out my store. Check me out on YouTube. Check out the videos. Like and subscribe. And for one-on-one sessions, go to my website. All the links is underneath. Love me more and I love you more. And the weather is getting warm. Hey. Later.